Hi everyone, we are going to do a very special reading today, and it is going to be about the super flower blood moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio during Mercury retrograde. Wow, is that not a mouthful or what? So this happens on May the 16th, and full moons are quite powerful actually in many ways, because they last basically for 48 hours either side, right? So you've got the full moon happening on May 16th, but it starts technically on the 14th. And well, the actual full moon doesn't start on the 14th. The energies can be felt at that time, and then the energies wear down around the 18th, because 2 days either side, if you know what I mean, energetically. But the actual full moon happens on May 16th. So if you're watching this, you know, a little bit later, it can still make sense to you, and we are going to have a look and see exactly what's coming through. All right, so I will explain, you know, everything about it, what it means, what's happening, what's not happening in the reading itself. But I just wanted to mention, first of all, that, you know, this is for all star signs. So if you're here, it's a sign in itself. If you would like to win a free reading with me, check out the description box below, since I do giveaways every single month. If you would like to purchase, you know, a personal service, any of the intention items or services and all that good stuff, it is down below. So yeah, feel free to check it out. There's private tarot readings, rituals to manifest different areas of your life. There's the I forgot what you call them. There's the intention items, there we go, which have thousands of 5-star reviews, and they're also available on my website as well. So yeah, you know, the review section is at the bottom of my website. There's bracelets, necklaces, anklets, pom-poms, tassels, embroidered cards which you can put under your pillow, wallet to your purse, candles, sage bundles, teas, etc. Alright, so let's have a look and see what's coming through with this very powerful lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio. Now there is a trine happening, so it's Jupiter and Mars, it's a trine. Also the full moon is happening as a trine, like with Neptune, so that's another thing to keep in mind. I'll explain what it does mean in just a second. Oh wow, look at that, Neptune is right here. Hanged Man's ruled by Neptune. We've got the Ace of Cups here. Beautiful. Okay, so that's that Scorpio energy also coming through. We've got the Ten of Pentacles here. We've got the Chariot. We've got the Four of Swords, which is quite important as well, because this again is Neptune energy. Now what this means is to not jump to conclusions. This full moon is all about not jumping to conclusions when you hear something or when something triggers you. This is very important because you will feel extremely triggered during this period of time. It is a very sensitive period of time already because of the Mercury retrograde. On top of that, add in a full moon, okay, which is usually to do with releasing and the excess being drained out, and already feeling so overwhelmed, you know, with the effects of Mercury retrograde, which can lead to, you know, little minor delays and frustrations, you know, technology not working and having miscommunications with people around you. Add in this full moon, right? You can feel very overwhelmed to speak your mind to someone who isn't treating you very well, and to take action on things really quickly without thinking necessarily. So what is very, very important, this is a very big message, is just think before you take action and avoid jumping to conclusions. If this bit can just run through your mind a little bit when, you know, if something triggering happens to you, you will thank yourself later, because I do see that some of you can take, you know, some big leaps and then think to yourself, oh no, I shouldn't have done that, you know. So it's just a sense here of keeping that balance where possible. Spiritual practice will help you tremendously. Meditation, any kind of spiritual practice, you know, even things like Reiki, all of those aspects will help you a lot during this period of time. So keep up with your spiritual practices. Okay, so aside from that, what's really interesting is we've got the Chariot here with the Ten of Pentacles. Now this is quite fascinating in so many ways, because it's actually showing you here that you're going to realize who's really there for you and who isn't. You're going to have epiphanies, you're going to have realizations. That's the Neptune energy. Also, you know, Jupiter and Mars are trine. Jupiter is the planet of success and wealth. Mars is the planet of war. So when you think about, gosh, they're two complete polar opposite planets, you know, being in a trine, it is quite overwhelming. And you may sometimes find, oh my gosh, maybe I'm on the wrong path, I better do this instead. You know, you can take action very significantly, which is the Mars energy, on, you know, that Jupiter energy, and you can kind of just feel like, oh no, I need to do this. Oh my gosh, I need to do that. No, maybe I need to do this. So just be aware that this is not the time to take big decisions, if that makes sense, because you can feel very heightened and very overwhelmed. It's best to take decisions after this period of time, especially on things that you're not so sure about. Okay, if there's something you've already been sure about for a very long time, don't worry, that's fine. But these are things that you realize during this period of time. You just want to let the period of time go past. Okay, all right. Now also, it's a very triggering time where people around you romantically can be a lot more enlightened towards you and realize your goodness and your values. And the reason I say that is because I do feel that you're a really good person, you're kind, you're caring, you're really, really lovely, you're very genuine, and this can make them feel very triggered that actually they need you in their life. Whereas for you, you're also, and to be honest, you know, for other people as well, they will realize that, okay, there are some people they want to cut out of their life and things like that, but you will as well. But I just feel here that so many people will understand the value of you in their life. And I also see here that you will be triggered to thinking about who really is there for you and who isn't, and who you want in your life versus who you don't, and who isn't treating you very well. So you're going to have your own realizations for sure, from what I am seeing here. Okay, so all is also not as it seems, and I think that's a really important thing here as well, is that you might see that someone takes action very dramatically or drastically towards you, and you might think to yourself, oh my gosh, like that's not very nice, let me just tell them to their face that that's not nice. But remember, all is not as it seems. People are very triggered and very heightened, especially those that are not very spiritual. They don't know that all of this is happening behind the scenes, right? They just think it's their day-to-day life and they've got to, you know, stand up for themselves and do things. So if people are very abrupt towards you during this period of time, if they come across as, you know, very all over the place, not very nice, things like that, it's best not to jump to conclusions, and it's best just to let things breathe, okay? Because you're self-aware and you know what's happening. Also, if someone you know, for example, is making a decision that you know is bad for them, what I think is really important as well is that obviously you can't really control them in that sense, but patience won't steer you wrong in this particular period of time. What you don't want to do is jump to conclusions and then have those regrets later on because of this particular full moon. When a full moon comes, you want to kind of ride out the emotions and just allow things to progress. That's the most beneficial thing. Otherwise, I see regrets building up, and that's really not what we want, right? We don't want regrets. All is not as it seems. If you see certain people having fun on their social media and you're thinking to yourself, wait a second, what? Like, especially people that have treated you wrong, if they're having fun in their life, like, all is not what they seems, because behind the scenes their life does have a lot of chaos and they're not getting on very well with people around them. It's just that they're showing that on the outside. That's another thing I wanted to mention as well. All is not, not everything that glitters is gold in this particular situation. Okay, we have, this happening in the sign of Scorpio. Intense. It's probably the most intense zodiac sign that exists. I say that from a place of love because I know very many Scorpios in my life. And it's intense, right? It's intense. Like, it's pushy. It pushes you to take action. It pushes you to, like, push things over the edge. Like, that's the Scorpio energy. And yes, it can work out really well sometimes and it can be really good, but also sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. Okay, so what's very important here is please just know that this full moon will trigger you. Okay, it's going to trigger you. It's going to make you feel really emotional. It's going to make you feel frustrated on people that haven't treated you right. It's going to make you feel overwhelmed because of this Mercury retrograde, because it's really pushing you to do certain things that, you naturally want to do. Like, you naturally want to cut certain people out, and you naturally want to, speak your mind to people who haven't been nice to you. But what I do see is that if you want to do that, it's best to do it after this period of time. The reason I say that is because otherwise, you may have some regrets as to things that you have said to them or things that they say in regards to you. It's a period of time where people can end up ruining relationships just because of the really harsh nature of some of the planetary alignments, is because they can feel triggered, you can feel triggered. If they're not spiritually very aware that all of this is happening, then as time goes by, yes, you can have a regret, but what are they going to do about things, right? So if you are in a situation that you're trying to manage, where you're trying to just let things naturally happen, then you want to be a little bit more diplomatic and not jump to conclusions, not take action just suddenly, because they may not have that same understanding as you do in regards to this, and then you may want to fix things in the future, but maybe they have kind of just felt overwhelmed by the conversation, and so they take more space. So, you know, it's one of those things where we want to do prevention is better than cure, especially in regards to certain bonds that you don't want to ruin, because during this time you will be very, very tempted to reach out to people who have not treated you well. You'll be very, very tempted to say something to try and get a reaction out of someone, especially if they haven't treated you well. It's not going to serve you good. It's going to make you regret things. Please don't do it unless you want to and you don't care. You know, like it's one of those things. You may be tempted to block someone just to show them, you know, like, oh, look at, you know, you're going to miss me in your life. Again, 10 out of 10 don't recommend. What I'm trying to say here is that you'll be pushed to do things to try and prove a point, but it will work against you. So let's not, right? Let's not. Your greatest power here is that you're very spiritual and very understanding, and you have that maturity and understanding within you. So try not to push that agenda, because it can work against you. It can really backfire. What you want to do is you want to work with the agenda. Use this period of time to realize who really is there for you and who isn't. And if you want to distance yourself away from someone, absolutely go ahead. You know, I'm not saying that you have to keep diplomatic relationships with everyone, but you know, it has to really come from within yourself where you're ready to let go, because this particular full moon is going to push you in ways that, you know, you might not necessarily do in other, you know, at other times during full moons. This is a very powerful one. I mean, you literally got a lunar eclipse with it. So, whew. And in a retrograde, oh my goodness. Okay, so you're trying to maintain a relationship that perhaps is a bit sticky, a bit difficult, a bit slow. You don't want to take action towards it invasively at this time. It's going to work against you. Okay, so diplomatic. So Ace of Swords here. Basically, okay, by taking care of yourself, doing you, putting yourself first, that's going to help this entire situation. Okay, that's going to give you victory. It's going to allow the sun to rise and for you to feel like, oh yes, the sun has risen today. It feels good, rather than feeling like, oh no, sun has risen, I have things to sort out, I have to try and fix certain relationships based on things that have happened during the full moon. Like, you know, again, prevention is better than cure. So that is your affirmation. Prevention is better than cure. That is also very, very true with certain things that you may be dealing with. You know, some of you may be dealing with certain things, you know, perhaps it could be health-wise, perhaps it could be, you know, trying to fix a relationship or trying to really help yourself and heal. Prevention is better than cure. It's just, it is the way it is in this particular reading. So comment it down below, especially if this reading already resonates, or if you find that there's something that really makes sense to you. Don't forget to like this video, and also comment down below the affirmation, because that is your affirmation. Okay, Two of Cups, yes. So people who, you know, love you can be a little bit all over the place here, but what I also sense here is that there is someone that romantically does care a lot about you, especially with the Two of Cups. It's just that they are really keeping to themselves, and they can be a little bit quiet, and during this period of time, if there's not a lot happening, it's best not to feel like nothing's ever going to happen. It's just the full moon is pushing people in so many different directions. Over this course of time, there can be an escalation of many things, and you may find that people are making decisions for their worst, not their highest good. I mean, I don't think there's much you need to do about that, you know what I mean? So let them do what they're doing. That's what I'm saying. You got here Empress, Venus energies. Love behind the scenes is flourishing. I thought it said seams for a second, you know, like the seam of a garment. Well, I guess, you know, well, things are happening. Super flower, you know, like things are blooming behind the scenes, but let them bloom. This is a period of time where people who have done you wrong will realize a lot more of their value towards you, but they may be keeping to themselves. But during this time, if you feel that they're keeping to themselves, they're not really saying anything to you, and then you get frustrated, and you then, you know, open up, you get frustrated at them, then obviously that undoes what they're thinking by having the space. Moral of the story, give people their space right now. It's going to help you, okay? It's going to help you. It's not going to harm you. It's going to help you. Woo! Yep. You know what's really interesting is that this particular full moon is actually allowing everything in your life to come together. It's allowing love to progress behind the scenes. It is allowing you to let go of certain things that don't serve you, which also includes having control over situations. A lot of you feel like you need to have control over a situation in order to know where it's going. Now, of course, there's like a human tendency to that, which is very normal, because you want to ensure that you feel stable and secure and that you know where you stand. But sometimes you want control over like everything, you know, and that's one of the things that the universe right now is trying to allow you to, is trying to tell you to let go of. that it's okay if you don't have control. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. We've definitely got the Mercury energy along with Neptune energy again. Okay, so there's the big confirmation. Your spiritual practice, self-love towards yourself, prevention is better than cure, works with you, works with your health, works with your well-being, your wellness, works towards your relationships, works towards your career as well. People will be so triggered during this period of time. Luckily though, we kind of hit, actually no, we don't hit the weekend with this one, do we? Because, I am filming this on the 14th, but I kind of thought it was like tomorrow, but no, that would be, no. So, yeah, it kind of hits the week, which means that, if you're going to work and things like that, then yes, you're going to perhaps experience this in your workplace, but because you're quite spiritually and astrologically aware of things, you can avoid problems. Don't we just love avoiding problems? Remember, prevention is better than cure. Yes, yes, yes. So whilst everyone else is having problems with one another, you can just be sitting there very pretty and feeling like, you know what? Okay, cool. I got this. I got this. I have stability. Now this can work really well in your favor, because whereas everybody else is having arguments and things like that in the workplace, bosses and people higher up can actually look at you and be like, wow, well, you don't have problems, let's perhaps promote you. You know what I mean? So it can actually work in your favor. And especially if you're dealing with someone romantically and let's say they're dealing with someone else or they're talking to other people. I'm not saying this is the case for everyone, just giving you some examples, because you're not really, triggering them. You're not upsetting them. You're not, saying things to them, that makes them feel overwhelmed. They then, are becoming overwhelmed with other people, but then they're starting to realize, wait a second, I don't have a problem with you. That leads them to then come towards you. See what I mean? This period of time works heavily in your favor if you can be detached, if you can be relaxed, if you can take care of yourself and put yourself first and not be afraid of the space and time in between. It works tremendously in your favor to give you that power over the situations that you have felt powerless in. Okay, it's not in holding on that things happen, it's in letting go. What is this full moon all about? It is about letting go. Yes, so don't be afraid of letting things go at this period of time. If someone frustrates you or upsets you, it's okay to be diplomatic. Let it go, let it go. How do you let things go? You let things go with healing. You dissolve. What happens in healing is we dissolve things. That's literally what it is, right? Science. We dissolve it. So it's gone. However, it takes time, of course, to heal. And what I see here is that, you are very much so at a place in your life where you sometimes just, I just feel that so many of you just want a happy life, and you want that to happen. And I think that what's really quite significant is so many of you are fed up of just holding on to things and like needing things to happen. Good, because that's how things are going to happen, right? With the law of attraction, things happen when you least expect it, when you're not constantly waiting for it to happen. So the Hermit definitely shows here that this is a period of time where it's okay to keep to yourself. It's okay to take care of yourself, put yourself first during this time, and you'll find that opportunities will naturally flow towards you. Make love, not war. That is pretty much the energy here. We got it double here. This card has Two of Cups cards. I don't know why, it just does. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but it's interesting. You've got Two of Cups, which clearly goes to show that opportunities can also be looming in the wings for you during this period of time, because you are not one of those people that is going to get triggered, because you're quite spiritually aware and you know what's happening astrologically, and it works tremendously in your favor. And whilst everyone else is so busy having problems and issues, you're not. And I think, well, actually, you're avoiding it, you know what I mean? And that's really helping you in all aspects and areas of your life. So that's amazing. Prevention is better than cure. Let it go, let it go. Those are your affirmations, okay? So yeah, comment down below if this reading resonates with you, if it makes sense. It's quite a deep one. It's quite a significant one. I'm not trying to like tell you off or anything like that. This is guidance, obviously. I am Moonlight Guidance with tarot, of course. So there's a lot of guidance in this, and a lot of the guidance is so that you can also avoid obstacles and challenges, and also avoid having those regrets otherwise. So I just thought this reading was really important, and here it is. Hope it helps. And there you go. So yeah, don't forget to comment down below, check out the description box below. Also, everything is listed down below as well. I have TikTok and Instagram if anyone wants to follow me on there, and I will see you all very soon. Bye everyone. Bye.